and today we are looking at a request from Bobby Reynolds 9277, and he asked me to rank some Godzilla ripoffs and characters that were inspired by the Big G himself. And I'm actually going to change this into a worst to best list. So before we dive in, a quick disclaimer. I know that there are a ton of characters out there that are either direct ripoffs or heavily inspired by Godzilla. We could literally go for hours talking about all of them, but for this video, I'm sticking with the specific characters that came to mind based on the request. Also, being a ripoff or inspired by doesn't automatically make a character bad. In fact, most of the characters we're talking about today are pretty great in their own right, and that's exactly what my ranking is based on. My criteria is going to be, how do they stand on their own, how different is their design from Godzilla, and could they actually stand a chance against Godzilla? Alright, so let's get into it, starting with the worst and working our way up to the absolute best. Kicking off our list, we're going to go with the worst one I think out of this list is Megodon from Colossal Kaiju Combat. Now this game was unfortunately pretty awful, and Megodon really doesn't do much to help it in this case. He just doesn't stand out at all. His design is, well, pretty much a poor man's Godzilla. Honestly, I don't think he'd even last a second against the King of the Monsters. Godzilla could probably flick him into oblivion. Next we have Yongari from Monster of the Deep. Yongari stands out a little more than Megodon, mainly due to the distinct horn on his nose. The CGI version of him also got a bit of a redesign, which was a nice touch, but not a great movie. Despite these differences, I still don't think he'd stand much of a chance in a direct confrontation with Godzilla. He's got some cool moments, but Big G would likely overpower him pretty quickly. Next we have Lizzy from the Rampage series. Lizzy definitely stands out, and that's thanks to her awesome personality and vibrant green color. Her design is still Godzilla-like, but it's got much more of a cartoonish style with those big eyes and exaggerated features. I absolutely love Lizzy, but let's be real. The game version would probably be smashed in an instant by Godzilla. The live-action movie version might put up a slightly better fight, but the classic arcade Lizzy, no way. Next we have Gorgo from the movie Gorgo. This monster's main claim to fame is being the British Godzilla, which helps them stand out a bit. The design has some subtle differences from the Big G, obviously, making him more like a sea creature rather than a T-Rex-like dinosaur. While it's a classic in its own right, I still don't think Gorgo would last very long in a fight with Godzilla. Next is Gion from the King of the Monsters games. Full disclosure, I have very little knowledge of Gion and haven't really played the games myself. From what I've seen, he really only stands out because of his unique color and that prominent horn. I'm not entirely sure how he'd fare against Godzilla, but after seeing some gameplay, he might be able to put up a surprisingly decent fight. Next we have Rega from Rega, God of the Monsters. Again, I have limited knowledge from Rega and I haven't seen the films, but from what I've seen, this monster definitely stands out. His design is quite different from Godzilla, looking more like an aquatic version of the Big G. From this point on the list, I genuinely believe these monsters could at least put up a decent fight against Godzilla. Now we get into Megodon from Dawn of the Monsters. I've only played a little bit of this game years ago. Megodon truly stands out. His design is radically different from Godzilla, which is a huge plus. I think Godzilla would actually have a pretty significant challenge on his hands if he went up against Megodon. This would be a fight worth watching. Next is Rawa from Giga Bash. I absolutely love Rawa. This monster stands out amazingly well, not just against Godzilla, but against all the other kaiju inspirations. While he shares similar structure to Godzilla, his design is totally unique with that awesome gold armored style. Rawa would undoubtedly give Godzilla some serious trouble in a fight. This would be an epic showdown. And finally, in my opinion, the best Godzilla-inspired character on the list is Toggera from War of the Monsters. Yes, I'm biased here, but I love Toggera. He stands out 100%. His look is like a hyper-stylized Godzilla, and those wicked blades coming out of his arms really help him stand out even more. Toggera would definitely give Godzilla a run for his money. This would be a legendary brawl. So there you have it, my ranking of some Godzilla ripoffs and inspired characters from worst to best. I want to thank Bobby Reynolds for the request, and what do you guys think of my list? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know your own rankings in the comments below, and add more Godzilla ripoff characters that you know of in the comments. That's all for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, stay Big G fans.